touch base with the management of Bharat Financials, and Mr. Rao now joins us. Mr. Rao, good morning and thank you for joining us. There is a lot of nervousness in your stock, and I know the management of any company, they don't want to comment on the stock performance per se. But the reason why there is nervousness in the stock, because the MFI micrometer report indicates that there are a lot of overdue loans. When you came out with your numbers, you said that the demonetization impact was normal, but then why is this MFI micrometer report is indicating otherwise?
No, good morning. See, the micrometer talks about the industry performance as a whole, but you need to look at our performance on a standalone basis. So just to give you a comparison with a few numbers, the 30-day DPD at 14% that the micrometer shows, our DPD is half of what it is at about 7%. Similarly, the other DPD of 8%, 90-day DPD, we are at 4%. The reason for us doing well, and we have been articulating this in the past as well, is our focus on process, a low ticket size, a weekly and a joint liability model. And for quite some time, we've as well been saying that people who have been following the individual model with higher ticket sizes and a monthly repayment would have a stressed portfolio in times of uncertainties in the rural space. The other factor for lower delinquency for us as compared to the industry is the fact that we focus mostly on rural and not urban markets, which are mostly overheated. So our performance, I'm talking about these are March numbers. April, May, we have seen significant improvement in our collections in UP. I can't throw the numbers because we have not disclosed it to the public as yet. But we have seen significant improvements in UP. We have seen improvements in Maharashtra and marginal improvements in Karnataka. But the Karnataka improvements are marginal because the defaults in Karnataka started much later than UP and Maharashtra. So we, as management, we are confident of the model that we are following, our focus on rural and joint liability and low ticket sizes. We are confident that we will be able to recover a significant portion of these areas. Because ultimately, what is the alternative? Sorry.
Allow me to quote a report which I have in my mailbox, and this is a report dated 23rd of May. I'm not going to talk about your company, but this report does not talk about a company, it talks about the sector. And let me read the leaf of that report. Our channel checks in Maharashtra suggest that 10 to 20% of the borrowers are paying on time, 30 to 40% are paying sporadically, and 30 to 50% borrowers have not paid between November and December 2016. So are you indicating that Bharat Financials is doing exceedingly well, but the industry is in a mess?
Yeah, so in pockets that probably he is referring to in a few districts in Maharashtra, we are also facing a stress. But if you look at the larger industry level, and these districts where the industry is facing a stress is on account of repeated calls for loan waivers by different people in the system. But notwithstanding that, if you look at our own presentation that we made for the year end in March, the weekly JLG portfolio continues to perform far better than the other models that the microfinance industry has. So I'm cognizant of that report. I know that report. I've seen that report as well. But they are looking at one particular district or two districts and talking about it. That is because of high level of communication that is going on in terms of pamphlets, in terms of meetings by various stakeholders, urging customers not to repay the loans.
Mr. Rao, at a broad level,
this is not.
No, please complete your point.
Sorry.
Complete your point.
This is not. Yeah, this is not true for the entire industry all over the country. In a lot of states, we are back to our 99.9% repayment that we are used to. Granted that there is a stress in a few states, but as I said, we are seeing improvement, and UP also had the elections and there was a stress, but it's coming back to close to its normal, and there's been a significant improvement.
Right. I'll tell you, there is the reality to a sector's performance, and your company included, and then there's the perception. And the perception is, given that you also reported a loss in Q4 due to stringent provisions, that broadly there could be a rise in gross NPAs and a rise in provisioning overall. That would lead to more write-offs. How accurate is that perception?
So I can speak for ourselves and not for the industry, because I'm not too sure about different companies' collection performance. But what I can say with fair bit of confidence, and we've been in this industry for quite some time, is that while at a point in time there could be some provisions, we know that over a period of time the customers will come back and repay, because at the rural level, especially where we have a significant presence, what is the alternative for microfinance? The poorer have to go back to money lenders, and when there is a need, they do realize that this microfinance is the cheapest source. The second point I want to talk about on these provisions is the fact that, let's say if a woman has defaulted for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and she'll come back and start attending the center meeting, she decides to start paying. She doesn't have the capacity to clear her all 8 weeks arrears or 6 weeks arrears that she's accumulated. She'll start being current, so she'll be paying the weekly installment. That is a good sign. It's just that instead of getting the entire loan amount within 50 weeks, we'll get it in 56 weeks or 58 weeks, depending on the number of weeks she's defaulted. Those are the signs that we look for. The field discipline that we have is continuing to be maintained. Our loan officers are continuing to show their presence in the villages that we are present in. And slowly the trickle has started, as I said, in Maharashtra and Karnataka. It's significant in UP. So over a period of time, we'll end up recovering these loans. We are fairly, as management, we're fairly confident about our company's performance. While there could be some small odd blips, but over a period of 6 to 9 months, we know we'll show healthy results.
So for me, can the market safely assume that based on these round of reports which you've got from Maharashtra or Karnataka, there is no reason why you would like to change your guidance? Or now you are thinking twice about revisiting it?
No, we are not changing our guidance. We stick to our guidance, because we have significant presence in rest of the states as well. While we do agree that currently Maharashtra and Karnataka are a bit stressed, we are fairly confident that the situation will come back to normal or close to normal over a period of 6 to 9 months. And there's no reason for us to change our guidance.
Right,
because
sure.
as I said, please, sorry.
No, please. We would want you to complete what you have to say.
No, basically, essentially what I was trying to reiterate is that for the rural population, microfinance companies are the only source of, let's say, organized lending at reasonable rates of interest. In the absence of that, and the women do make a calculation about where to borrow, which is a lower cost of borrowing, and temporarily, because of some external influence, they might be not paying or might be forced not to repay the loans. But eventually things will come back to normal, as we've seen in the case of Uttar Pradesh.
You've set the cat amongst the pigeons, sir, when you informed the exchanges that you have appointed a consultant for merger and inorganic plans. I'm not so sure how should I read into lines. You're well aware of this IndusInd Bank buzz. When that communication hit the market, everyone called me saying that, Nikunj, your channel story is going to be right, because now they have officially indicated that they are open to inorganic plans. Is it just a routine comment, or there is something serious about your communication to the exchanges? Because you don't inform the exchanges if there is something not, if something is not brewing.
No, I think the board, there's been significant amount of technology innovation and development in our company. We have started the Kirana Bank pilot, where essentially a woman can go and pull and push cash from her account from a local Kirana store instead of traveling, let's say, 3 or 5 kilometers to an ATM or a bank. I think this is a significant achievement initiative in terms of going cashless across rural India. And we have some 8 lakh Kirana stores across the country as our borrowers, out of which we want to make 2 lakh Kirana stores as the cash outlet points. This has a significant impact on the efficiencies and the operations of the company. And this has a significant potential to market third-party products and so on as well. In light of this development, the board wanted to evaluate all the strategic options that are on the table and requested the management to look out for maybe more strategic options so that we can take an informed decision. And this is what we wanted to communicate to the market, and that was the purpose of the communication.
Saying that IndusInd Bank has not approached you, and if they approach you, are you open to selling out, or would you say that no, we're not interested in selling out? Let me ask you a frank and a pointed question, because your answer now, sir, think before you answer, is going to be an important answer, because that will just rubbish all the speculative fervor in the market.
No, so I didn't get the question that you're asking.
My question is very straight and simple. Has IndusInd Bank approached you for a proposed merger?
So without getting into the details of who's approached us, who's not approached us, we are open to all options. The board has asked the management to evaluate all options. They were asked me to appoint a consultant and evaluate the options. We are in the process of doing that, and we are fairly confident that in a couple of months we will be able to come out with an announcement which will address the interests of all stakeholders, whether they are customers, shareholders, or employees.
Couple of months, can I archive that comment and can I assume that no merger talk, no buzz, nothing will happen in next 2, 3 or 4 weeks? Because when you're using months, that means that something is happening but no announcement will come in next 15 days.
I can talk about myself. I won't talk about anything for the next 4 weeks. I can't stop people from speculating. But what I can assure you is at an appropriate time, the board will take a decision and we'll be announcing it to the market, the board decision that.
Next 4 weeks, no announcement is coming. That is what you're confirming to us from your side.
No, I'm saying I'm not going to open my mouth for the next couple of weeks because the board has given me a homework to do and I'm busy doing that work.
Appointed a consultant with regards to a proposed transaction?
Yeah, we have appointed a consultant.
Okay. Just one more clarification on that front. You're not wanting to take a particular name, and the name, of course, Nikunj just highlighted is IndusInd Bank, which is doing the rumors in the market. But has any big, large bank approached you? Has there been any dialogue?
So, I repeat what I have said. We are talking to a lot of people. We are evaluating a lot of options. And that is what the board has given me a mandate to do. So, that's the work in progress that I was talking about. That will keep me occupied and the management team occupied for the next few weeks. Then we will take all these options to the board.
Mr. Rao, is the top option there getting merged with a larger bank franchise out of all the other options? The preferred option?
No, the whole idea of having a consultant to evaluate all options is that we will look at all the options objectively at one time instead of taking one option of giving preference to one option or the other. See, the board is full of independent directors. We just recently inducted an investor director. So the board is cognizant of the fact that they have far larger responsibilities because none of them are stakeholders. So when the board has to take a decision, they want to evaluate all options that are on the table. That will probably the consultants and the bankers will help us get onto the table and evaluate and take a final call.
Before I ask my closing comments, I know we've extended our appointment with you, and I also want to thank you for candidly answering and patiently answering all our queries. When do you expect to hear from your consultant in terms of the options and in terms of the proposals? I mean, when is that scheduled meeting likely to happen?
No, it's work in progress. As and when the consultant gives the report, we'll need to take some time of the board and evaluate those options. As of now, it's work in progress for us and for the consultant as well.
As of now, all the other big microfinance companies, they've directly, indirectly become a bank. You have no plans to become a bank. So can I assume that for a microfinance company of your size, the necessity to survive is that either you merge or you become a bank?
Let me answer this question a bit differently. So the technology innovation that I spoke about, the Kirana stores, the Kirana bank that we have developed over the last 2.5 years, we've been doing pilots with different organizations as to how to get cashless. The underlying thing that will take this off in a big way is the fact that customers need to have a bank account. Today the technology is available for us to allow the customer to push or pull cash from any account that he or she has. But the challenge there is our technology team has to tie up with individual banks for the seamless transfer of data with all the security aspects in place. So if you have one single bank account the customers have at the same bank as the Kirana stores, it makes the transactions more seamless, the rollout more seamless, and as I said, it brings in a lot of efficiencies to the table. Just to give you an example, a normal customer interaction, we call a center meeting, takes about 40-45 minutes in a day, when we give cash and we give cash as loan and we take cash as collections. Today 75%, 80% of our disbursals are all cashless. Now the next challenge is to get the installments to come through the bank accounts of the customer. So for us, we need the customer to have a bank account. We need the Kirana store equipped with a biometric device and an Android phone for the whole cash in, cash out position. So the underlying thing is you need a big bank tie-up who will help us open 65 lakh accounts, who will help us enroll 2 lakh Kirana stores, which will be co-branded human ATM equivalents in rural India across the country. To set up this, you need some sort of a tie-up with the bank, whether it is just a normal BC arrangement, whether they take a 10% stake, or whether they want to do go the whole 9 yards and take the 100% stake. These are all options on the table. Because what this initiative throws up is a plethora of opportunities which will change the dynamics of the way microfinance is done, not only in India but across the world.
Mr. Rao,
and I'm not being modest about our achievement.
No, I'm sure, but thank you for that answer, because from that answer, to me at least, as I hear you spell out your future plans, there is going to be a very sharp focus on digitization and adopting the digital model, and you would, it seems, require the infrastructure and the back-end support, as well as a strong backing of a bank to perhaps make sure that those plans fructify into reality. I mean, is that a fair assessment? Because from your answer, I don't see many options. I just see one option of a bank being very much part of your future plans.
Yes and no. The bank could be just a BC partner. They could take a strategic stake, or they could go the whole log. Those are options that the bank has to take. But what we would, the board and the management would come to the table and look at the options is it beneficial for the customers, is it beneficial for the shareholders, and is it beneficial for the employees? If all the three boxes are ticked, I think whichever option ticks all the three boxes, we'll go ahead with that option.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for being so candid and frankly and patiently answering all our queries.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.